Welcome to the overtime session of the State of the Community. This year we had record attendance, over 450 community leaders and those engaged and wanting to know more about what is going on around our community. Unfortunately, we didn't get to every question that we wanted to address with our local leaders. So today we're going to bring to you the opportunity to listen in on the questions that we formulated that we didn't get to. It seems that investments in quality of life initiatives that aim to enhance the overall livability of our community are effective means to attract and retain both younger residents and more established professionals. Can you highlight some of these investments and explain how you believe these efforts will contribute to attracting business and industry to the area? Also with that, new leadership at PARA has been established. How have discussions progressed with PARA?
In 2019, we literally put it all on the line to pass Elevate Tuscaloosa, and we couldn't have done it without the Chamber of Commerce. And you see the results now coming through, even after going through a 1.5-year pause with COVID. Northern River Walk, River District Park, Saving Centers online. You see a myriad of quality of life projects that have already come to fruition, and you're going to have more. That's going to be Northern River Walk Phase 2, Snow Hen Park, Colleton Park. So those things will continue. Our partnership with PARA is absolutely paramount. And so Brian Davis, the new CEO of PARA, in my opinion, is doing a fantastic job. We have been in discussions with him for the last probably 90 days talking about a new partnership and a new dynamic. We want PARA to manage our youth sports, most of our recreational opportunities. We at the city want to be able to maintain that asset. We see that as general principles of a partnership. I think in the coming months and even years ahead, you're going to see some announcements that's going to strengthen the city's relationship with PARA. And the good news for taxpayers, it's going to give them the highest quality parks within the city of Tuscaloosa.
We are very excited about the new leadership at PARA, and it has provided an opportunity to rethink PARA and municipal funding with that. So we are discussing actual cost for what services are rendered to our city and the citizens of our city, and we hope to contract on the actual cost of those services rather than general service contracting.
I've seen several things that have developed over the last 6 months that have been just highly encouraging about making Tuscaloosa far more attractive as an option to people, not only to visit, but to stay. And that's after graduating. There are some really good things underway. A combination of, I think, PARA is heading in an exciting direction with the things that are happening with sports and tourism. That team working together is looking at how we are going to promote the wonderful outdoor recreation opportunities and lifestyle enhancements in Tuscaloosa County unlike ever before. I'm excited. I think we've got a great management team that's being assembled at PARA. They're much more data driven, and their financial side of things, which is always so important when we're trying to wrestle with taxpayer dollars, it's really important that side of the house being in excellent shape. They're really getting there. Then over on the tourism side, that's again tells the story of Tuscaloosa County, and it's not just about the downtown activities anymore. I mean, the wonderful outdoor recreation and the trails and kayaking and paddleboarding, and they're really telling that story now, and I think that's going to help us all, especially on the economic development front and letting people make a good lifestyle choice here in Tuscaloosa County.
While oftentimes local governments play a supporting role in K-12 education, what effects are our systems, both city and county, having on local recruiting and retention? And should local governments play a larger role in these efforts?
I'd like to think the city of Tuscaloosa plays a significant role with the city schools, whether it's a pre-K program that's nearly universal. That's a large portion of those dollars come from both general fund and Elevate, dual enrollment scholarships, which give certainly our children in Tuscaloosa a significant head start to a college or career readiness, and no one else in the state does this, funding summer learning programs. The city is very integrated into the great work of Dr. Daria and the Board of Education. In my opinion, we have reached a crossroads in our community to make a decision. We see what other great cities in Alabama are doing for education and investing in education. And we're going to have to make a decision in the near future. Are we satisfied with where we are? And if we are, that's where the community needs to be. Or do we think that we need to be the very best? And so I look forward to those conversations. As I mentioned at the State of the Community when it came to healthcare, our goal should never be being average. If that's our goal, then frankly, I don't want to do this job anymore. And I know that's not Tuscaloosa's goal. It's not my hometown that thinks that way. So I like the idea of us having discussions, whether it's education or whether it's healthcare, of saying, what do we do to be the very best? And what does it take to get us there?
As we know, housing markets are really driven by school systems in great part. And so it is important to us as a largely residential community in the city of Northport to understand the impact of the school system and how we can assist in creating a desirable place to live and locate or relocate as a family. So to that end, we've done some feasibility studies regarding the establishment of an independent school system away from Tuscaloosa County school systems. And at this point, the cost associated with that does not seem to be feasible. And given the tax millage that we were indicated as needing for an independent school system, and beyond that, the fact that the school system referendum in February did not pass, we felt like this was a time to refocus our energy on actually creating a better partnership and collaboration. To that end, representatives of the City of Northport and Tuscaloosa County School System have sat down, discussed what the priorities are for each, and we have a follow-up meeting very soon to continue our efforts in collaboration.
You know, our schools remain paramount as far as, you know, when parents are making decisions on where they want to raise a family and where they're going to buy that house, that's always going to be a factor. As a parent of a 14 and 16-year-old now, you know, school's always something that's taken into consideration. It was when we bought our last house. It's important, and it's going to always be that way. Our city and county schools are different, but they have the common goal of trying to do the best job they can to educate and prepare the next generation for the workforce and whatever they're to become in the future. They're working together well on many fronts. Of course, our county school system is almost twice as large as far as students as the city school system. The resources per student are lower as far as financial resources, and that's a reality of part of the struggle with the growing county and our county schools. But at the end of the day, there's a lot to celebrate in our schools, and we're seeing a lot of folks choose to move and come to the area, not just move from town, but move into Tuscaloosa County and opt to live in what 5 years ago would have been considered more of a rural area and attend a county school, which is creating some challenges in the growth patterns and traffic and the demands on those schools and teachers and administration. So it's good to be growing, but I think we have to remain vigilant. How do we keep improving our schools? We have an elected school board on both the city and the county. They're independent, they manage their own budgets, those allocations and the priorities they set. They have a lot of discretion on that. And with the county commission, I know we try to do infrastructure projects supporting our schools, and there's things that are always coming up that we try to help fill those gaps at times. But I think it's a team effort at the end of the day, because it takes all those pieces working together to get the best outcome for our students.
While on the Riley benchmarking trip, we saw the focus on investment on the innovation. Given the growing research enterprise at the University of Alabama and the presence of talented students graduating from the institution, how do you envision leveraging these valuable assets and resources to attract and retain knowledge-based jobs to the area?
If we're frank, we are not capturing the number of students that are leaving the University of Alabama who are creating a lot of jobs in other cities across the United States. But we do have an opportunity. The AMP and the Water Institute are really once-in-a-generation opportunities we need to leverage. The city can do a few things in that regard. Number one is we can continue to invest in quality of life. I think that's one of the key reasons why the Chamber supported Elevate back in 2019. This generation will choose their community before they choose their job. Number two is learning what does it take to create those innovation jobs in your community beyond just the quality of life initiatives. The days of needing a rail spur or an airport or an interstate exit to be successful are gone. So what do we have to have as a community to support that type of entrepreneurism? I certainly think the city's well positioned to do that. Where we're going to need the help of everyone is figuring out what are those investments look like and how do you sustain those investments. But this is an exciting time, and I really believe when you look at the data coming out of the UA, there are 3,000 to 4,000 jobs that could be created just in the AMP and Water Institute sectors for our community. We haven't seen anything like that since Mercedes in the 90s. We need to do everything as a community to have great education, great health care, great quality of life amenities. So when those jobs are created, they stay right here in Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa County.
Well, we do have the opportunity to secure internships and partnerships with the University of Alabama. And it's a nice pool of candidates to be future residents of the city of Northport, not only as residents, but as future business owners and investors in our community. To that end, we do attempt to secure internships. We've participated with the Chamber and visit Tuscaloosa in marketing Northport as a city to our students. We've worked with workforce development and the Fuel Tuscaloosa initiative that included Tuscaloosa County Economic Development, the Chamber, Visit Tuscaloosa, and then the various government entities here to show what we can uniquely offer in Northport. Of course, our council and mayor have focused on quality of life, and as we know, providing quality of life choices is key to keeping students here in the area. So we like to talk about our local investments in quality of life, whether it's a new sports complex, the adventure park, or the water park, and then the exciting things that are happening here, and letting those students feel a part of our community, whether it's through social interaction, affordable housing options, or the potential that they see in our growth.
I believe if we put our heads down, keep working together better, in 5 years, Tuscaloosa County will be looked at as a hub of innovation. There is so much happening here with the University of Alabama, the research initiatives that are already underway. And as I see our Economic Development Authority, the Chamber of Commerce, our local governments all kind of working around the common theme of moving into the knowledge-based sector of our economy, things are about to start really being noticeable and happening. We've got to be in that innovation sector of the economy. The knowledge-based sector, we've got great manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, all that is native to Tuscaloosa County. But we do still need to support that and grow that, but we also need to be working on the other side where the innovation takes the shape of knowledge-based industries and companies and engineering and R&D. Those types of things are extremely important. The benchmarking trip, the highlight of my trip, is always great to get to visit with folks that we just don't have time to have those side conversations with every day. But I think the most interesting was we visiting the American Underground and seeing their large hub of innovation where software designers and entrepreneurs of all walks of life are coming together to start up. We need to make it simple. We need to make it easy, lower those barriers to entry, and figure out ways to support bright ideas, energetic folks who want to come together and innovate here in Tuscaloosa County.
Affordable housing seems to be a challenge across the country. What can your administration do to help with the need for more housing in our community? And how can all three governments work together to improve our housing supply and affordability?
Affordable housing is a difficult question to answer because local governments, as they should be, are very limited in what it can directly do. Certainly through our entitlement programs, we can make investments with Habitat for Humanity, Tuscaloosa Housing Authority, and we're doing that in significant ways. But the overall housing prices is probably not going to at least levelize until there's more supply on the market. It's a supply and demand question, or supply and demand issue in my opinion. The city took pretty bold action back in June when the City Council adopted our recommendation to run the Northwest sewer line, and it will run up from roughly Sokol Park North all the way up to Sharp's Landing when complete. So over the next 10 years, this should open up 1,000 plus opportunities for new housing in Tuscaloosa. In addition, I do believe that the McWright's Ferry Road project is going to open up 1,000 plus opportunities for new homes in that area. The more homes that get on the market, the more supply, then prices you would hope would follow the normal trend and begin to levelize. And so that's our best hope. Using our entitlement programs as we are with our partners like Habitat and Housing Authority, continuing to expand our infrastructure, which opens up opportunities for additional housing development. The good news about this, and we do have to look for the silver lining, is we're a community people want to be in, or you wouldn't have these housing prices. I mean, so that is the good news. But creating housing that the workforce every single day can work in, that's certainly something that is on our mind, and we're going to continue to do the things we can do within the authority that we have to make that difference.
We're glad to announce that the City of Northport has undertaken a new comprehensive plan, and with that we have completed a housing needs study. Of course, affordable housing is a need across the nation, and so we are attempting to address the different types of housing needs that we see across our community within our comprehensive plan. That will include different types of housing structures and different zones. So I anticipate additional information regarding housing, zoning, etc., and density. That often drives affordability, is density. So we are attempting to address all of those factors in our new comprehensive plan.
Affordable housing remains a challenge. Just this morning, I was asked by an employee if I was aware of any houses for lease or sale. And you know, the inventory now is getting a little thin again. The market has just swung up and down, but affordable housing is a real challenge for us. We recognize that every house basically is built by private industry, and working and listening to ways that we can maybe build things quicker, better, how to design the layout of neighborhoods and that will manage traffic and get a house at an affordable price point. It really is a team effort because it requires infrastructure, but at the same time, you know, these builders, they're under a lot of pressure and trying to make a price point. We've got interest rates as of this recording hitting about 77% on a 30-year. Well, that's quite different than it was 2 years ago. So housing market is going to continue to be a real challenge, and I think we just have to keep looking for solutions and encouraging folks that want to come invest and put together affordable housing solutions to do so in the county.
We want to say thank you to Judge Robertson, Mayor Maddox, and Glenda Webb from the City of Northport for taking the time with us today to dive into some of the topics that we didn't get to during the State of the Community. I think we can all take away valuable insights from their perspectives about how these broader things affect our community as a whole.